Hi, good evening. Thanks for coming back. I think this will be a quick one. Mostly a check in to say hello and apologize for not being on too often. I haven't really felt too chatty lately. I've been a little more internal the last bunch of months. I think partly, I got Shay here beside me, it's been because the election was such a disappointment, and I really thought I believed what many of the psychics believed in that the Democrats were going to take both sides of Congress, and that in doing so and having the White House, we would really start to see laws enacted towards a correction of the direction, that we've been going in, and when that didn't happen, my expectations were so violated that I think it just kind of capsized my brain for a little bit, and I'm still kind of in that funk. But I'm doing my best not to stay there and trying to stay positive, because what else can we do? So, and I mean, I still believe that in the long run, it's I have so many itches today. I still believe that in the long run that good will win out, but it's just the dragginess, the dreariness of some of the continuing GOP stunts is tiresome. It's just very tiresome, and it makes people wonder, when we're ever going to get back to normal, and what that even might look like now. So, but on the good side, I thought it was interesting again that this year at Easter time, I felt a bump. Um, the energy of this guy is in my mind definitely stamped on the period of time around Easter. Somehow when we go around the globe and we come back to where his energy is stamped, there's a Jesus effect. Because in the day or two leading up to Easter, and then Easter itself, and then the days following, I felt as if like a lot of weight, uh, emotional weight and worry had been lifted off of me, as if like, we were literally like, passing through this extra positive energy. And then it kind of faded, and then the days felt more normal again, similar to what they had been before. But it was cool that I got to experience that again, because I felt that last year, if you saw my video then, and the year before that too. So it's kind of neat. It's I don't know what that's all about, but it's neat. So that was kind of cool. I've had, some interesting dreams, many of which I have not written down because I've been so busy with some other stuff too. But a few which are sticking in my mind. I had another levitation dream that was pretty interesting, where I was practicing jumping or something, like I was at a track meet almost. But then one of the times when I leapt, instead of like, say launching myself 20 feet or something into a sand pit, I leapt straight into the air, and I realized that I could levitate and fly. And then the weird part about the dream was like, this doesn't make sense, of course, and that's dream logic. Dream logic is nonsensical often, but it didn't make sense. But somehow scientists were able to study me and learn how I was able to defy gravity and turn it into a technology so that they could invent flying cars, because the next part of the dream was in flying cars. And the cars were small. They were almost like one person or two person cars, like tiny little boxes, tons of them in the sky. And I was flying in one, and I was like, this is nuts, because I'm looking out the front window, and you were high up in the air, but everyone's flying really closely together. Like they're too close for comfort for me. And so you had to pay a lot of attention to like when people were moving, so that you didn't inadvertently bump into them or them bump into you, and then different altitude changes, and it was kind of kooky. But that was a funny jump, literally, from my being able to fly to the development of flying cars. So no idea what that's about. I've once again had more than one dream about being in other people's bodies. Okay, I wake up and now I'm in a woman's body. Um, that's happened more than once. And almost always in the dream, there's a moment where I look in the mirror and realize how different I look, but that it's me inside. And usually I end up tweaking the person's appearance a little bit to like more fit my tastes, or like maybe I'll trim the hair a little bit, like, or something, like if it's really long, and I'm gonna make it a little more like my own hair, even with the women sometimes. So I don't know what that dream's about, but I've had it an awful lot of times. It's always amusing because in the dream it feels like I don't know how long I'm going to be in that body, but I know it could be a while, so I better just kind of get used to it. And sometimes I pick up on what the person inside the body might feel about themselves in daily life. Like, I think I may have mentioned this in a previous video. It feels familiar. I had one dream where I was a very slight female, and so then I felt like some of her vulnerability by being in that body in a way that I don't always feel in my male body. So that was kind of interesting. I had a bizarre dream about 45, Mr. President 45. I've had a couple of dreams in which he's very showy, like almost like a used car salesman. He's a smooth, fast talker, but he's kind of a transparent, fast talker. And he doesn't always appear even to be like evil the way I think of him in daily life. He appears more what's the word I'm looking for? Clownish is part of it, but not all of it. But in this recent dream, I meet him, and like he manages to distract me in the dream. He knows like I'm a musician, so he says, "Hey, I got this project for you. I want you to go and work with a bunch of artists on it might have been a Christmas album. I want you to go and work with like these famous artists on getting a Christmas album recorded." And like he talks me into it, and then he's like, "Okay, off you go." And like in my head, I'm thinking, I have no interest in doing this. I have my own music. I have my own artistic interests. And yet, somehow, he's kind of like talked me into doing it. And I don't know if that's like supposed to be representative of his nature, that he has a weird kind of voodoo at play where he can get people to do things they don't even want to do just because he just talks them to death or talks them into it. But I remember like he was like, "Okay, all right, now here's your assignment. Now we'll go off and do it." And like I even thought in my head, like, he's never gonna pay for this anyway. Like he doesn't pay anybody for anything, so this is all a ruse anyway. And then I think I gave up on it. But the fact that he had talked me into it was so annoying that he had been effective. So I don't know what that means exactly. I know in daily life I have zero inclination to be charmed by him, but apparently many people have been. I don't think charmed is the right word, but many people have been tricked into doing things for him because of the way he chats them up, or something that he does, some weird, very wrong voodoo that he's got in his bag in his wheelhouse, in his bag of tricks. So enough said about that, but it was funny. But my favorite dream of the recent crop I don't remember that many details about it anymore because it was several weeks ago, but at the time it was very magical. I was in a I was in a shop, like an underground shop, um, and it seemed to be a good 50 years ago. And you got to this shop, like a small, like pharmacy type of shop, and it was underground. So you got down to it from a stairwell, and then when you came inside, the cashier. So you come down the stairwell, and then the cashier was like right here at the bottom of the little stairwell, and then the entrance, and then there was a cashier platform, and then you continued to go, like the cashier platform was raised, and then you could go down steps in multiple directions to like another lower level where you could actually do your shopping. And in the dream, I was like a greeting card on a rack, but I was just energy. I was like a little spark of energy in a rack, but it was like you would pick out a holiday card or a birthday card. So I existed in the rack just like that as a product that you could come and get, but I was just a little ball of energy. And when I looked up from the lower level, from the very bottom area of the store, and then I looked up past the staircase where the cashier's platform was, and I looked up past that to where the stairwell was, and the door that had glass. It was a glass door, so you could see who was coming down the stairwell. When I looked up from my little corner of the bottom of the shop, I could see my young mom coming into the shop, and I realized that she was coming to pick me off the shelf to be her kid. But I wasn't a kid yet. I was just a little bundle of energy waiting to be plucked from the shelf there. And I was like, "Oh, she's finally here." And like this, and so I felt like sparkles around me, and like the whole shop seemed sparkly too, dreamlike, Christmassy kind of in a way, which I guess is ironic because my mom was born on Christmas. And it was just really cool. And in the morning, I texted my mom and told her, thanked her for picking me off the shelf, and she liked it. She liked that idea. And yeah, it was just pretty neat. So that's most of what I got for you today. Hope everything is good. I'm keeping my prayers up as much as I can. I try to send love and light out every day. I ask for love and light to come to the world and get us through these continued challenging times. I still like to send prayers to people in the form of light missiles. I may have mentioned this in a previous video, but sometimes when I'm in bed and trying to get to sleep, prayer will help get me in a meditative state. Pardon me. And sometimes I'll dream that I'm sending like rockets of love and light to people that I care about, either my family or friends. And so like the rocket takes off from my house, and then it heads in the direction of where the person lives. But of course, it's not a weapon. It's a love bomb. It's a bundle of light energy, positive energy packed into like a little rocket shell, and that's how I send them off. So Yeah, I do that as often as I can because the visualization is calming. Anyway, I'll sign off. If I have any other very interesting dreams, I'll pop back on. I think that's all of them for now. Um, yeah, not too much else, and hopefully we're gonna see more progress in these court cases. Relating to the last prior administration. Hopefully, Jack Smith is hard at work and close to filing some paperwork that will begin to correct the many injustices we have witnessed for many years now. In the meantime, try to keep your spirits up, stay well, and I welcome your comments in the comment section, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks very much. Bye.